Michael Jordan poster.
I wish there were cameras.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
What?
Did you already push? Did we get that on?
Oh, yeah, we're. Good morning and welcome to the Hodge Pack. We are from the country, and that's what we like, hanging out here in the Potosi Lodge studio. Yeah, that's right, little Tracy Bird. Be sure you check out. Go see Tracy Bird somewhere. Hey, we're glad that you're with us this morning, Hodge. First New Year, not first New Year, the first show of the New Year, Hodge, Misty, and Josh.
First New Year.
It is the first New Year. Last Christmas, you stole my heart, and now I've got my first New Year. Hey, we are glad that you're with us. We got a jam-packed show, a lot of stuff to cover. Week 18 is up and rolling with some games that matter and some games that are pretty much all about the Benjamins, as Misty likes to say, trying to get incentives, more. I'm going to do can you name that guy here a little bit later on when we do.
Put me on the spot.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Can you name this guy? Because believe it or not, he may be playing quarterback in the NFL on Saturday or Sunday. We are glad you're with us. Our guest up here on our Pest Control phone line. Of course, we are brought to you by Live Lane Cattle. I already mentioned that we are down here in the Potosi Live studio in the Mall of Abilene. We'll be seeing our mall walkers walk through, wait to see if Misty finds her favorite mall walker. And last week, Josh, we had one that stopped because we do play the best country music. We got the poster we have there with all the artists. We had one stop by and did the old air fiddle to us. It was pretty cool.
It was awesome.
But Josh is back with us after the big hunt that ended
Unsuccessfully, but I'm leaving right after work. I'm going back.
Oh, there you go.
I
Is that
love
tonight?
it.
You're working tonight, or you're working to?
No, I'm gonna leave work as soon as possible. Hunt tomorrow. It's the last weekend of deer season.
Oh, this is it, huh?
Yeah.
He's still trying to get the monster. You're not a quitter, and I
I'm
admire
not. I'm
that.
not a quitter, and there's one out there that. I mean, it would look
Needs
good on
to come
someone's
home.
wall.
The one that got away.
And so we'll have that update next week, whether or not Josh, and we watch ESPN and all the great outdoor shows to see if Josh gets the deer comes across.
That's what I need to do for a career. Start just being a public nuisance by being one of those television hunting people. Which
Oh my
I want,
gosh, you actually
but they
be the
are
best.
like, yeah.
I would totally
yeah.
watch you.
New gig.
Oh, there you go. So,
Call me.
Don't accept my resignation yet.
no,
No.
First, I can trust Texas Radio Report will continue. We're right after there. No, we are glad that you're with us again. We're all back together. First show of the year. We're excited about 2024. Again, we're at our new digs. We got some exciting stuff that we'll announce a little bit later on in the show. But we got bold predictions. We're going to read some of y'all's bold predictions that you put us on Facebook. So if you're driving around, heading to work, or maybe just working out on the old Peloton listening to us, be sure, I don't know if you can, I don't know what the Peloton is. I know it's a bike that's to be right. Be sure to swing by.
You actually can. I have it and use it.
Well, there you go. Well, of all the people that look like they use it, it's definitely giving you all Josh. That's no offense, but that's pretty accurate. But again, I thought it Peloton for you. No, it means you still have to do it.
Self-propelled treadmill. Nope. You actually have to move.
legs for you.
It's like all those things. Just sit there and watch TV and you'll lose weight. No, it doesn't work that way. But be sure if you're driving around, swing through Mi Ranchito. We appreciate Mi Ranchito being the official breakfast of the Hodge Pack. So swing through, get them one, and tell the lady at the window, my love. She always says, "Thank you, my love. Good to see you." So go check out Mi Ranchito this morning. Again, a lot of stuff to talk about. We got our Pest Control phone line. We'll be lighting up after this segment. Josh Bostel, the head coach at Eula, the girls coach there. We're going to talk to him about the Lady Pirates. And then also, they had the big tournament. Eula always has a big Christmas tournament. Talk about how you get all that together. Still coach and all those things. So we'll talk to him a little bit later. We've got Misty's back. Josh is known as at the battle. Will be back. And then we'll be looking at Dallas Cowboys regular season. How important is Sunday? It's pretty important. It's enough that it matters on 2 home games because, well, one, it shows that you can still win on the road, but an opportunity to have 2 playoff home games. So we'll talk about that. Of course, Monday night, college football, it gets a little sad. I know Josh gets a little sad as baseball ends, and thanks goodness to the First Bank and Trust Texas Ranger Report. That baseball season lasted a lot longer this year. But the college football season comes to an end Monday night with what I think, and I'll ask Josh and Misty a little bit later, is this game as sexy as Alabama and Texas might have been? I think it still could be. So let's dive into our Lawrence Hall headline report. Golf is back. I know Josh was excited watching the Golf
Yeah,
Channel last night.
Can't wait.
But the Century Tournament of Champions happening in Hawaii, a little different because one of the news stories that happened in 2023 that ended was John Rahm joining the Live Golf Tour. In that, there's 3 tournaments that John won on the PGA Tour that the defending champion will not be in unless something crazy happens with this merger or agreement thing that really I still haven't figured out what it is. But the Gala is leading at 9 under. Morikawa Villegas, which is a great story. Check him out. Unfortunately, his daughter at a very young age a couple years ago and won again on the PGA Tour. He shoots 8 under along with Sanjay Gill and Jason Day. I like the night golf because you get home, you watch it, but they are playing in Hawaii there. So congratulations to them. A couple things I want to talk about in this part is Dalvin Cook. I thought the Cowboys may try to make a run at him because I still think we're kind of missing in the running back category. I don't know what y'all think about that. Tony Pollard is good, but I don't think he's enough to be the man right now, and I wish we would have signed Dalvin Cook. But the Baltimore Ravens pick up Dalvin Cook, and which again, rich gets richer, however we look at it. We'll talk about the rich hand in a minute.
I was disappointed by that also.
Yeah.
I heard that he was released, and I thought that.
To me, he would have been a good
That would
fit.
have been a good. And I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of all of it, but just from the immediate outside thought when I saw that go across the ticker, I was like, man, I hope the Cowboys make a run at that. And then it was almost as quick as I saw that he was available, that he was no longer available.
Yeah, and I think in the Jets' defense, Priest Hall ended up being well and didn't need him a whole lot.
Right.
And then the Vikings, so I thought obviously let him go. To me, the Baltimore Ravens felt like he was needed and could help. Who's the number 1 seed in the AFC? Dallas probably should have gone.
They also just lost their running back Mitchell to an ACL injury. You know, so even though they had Gus Edwards and that wasn't maybe like their, you know, they had a 1-2 punch that went, you know, down a notch. So it makes sense that they wanted to replace that.
So the Dallas Cowboys didn't do that, but they did bring in Lionel Collins, which signed him, I believe, to the practice squad. We'll see if he ends up having to play. But again, big week there. Josh, we'll go into the David Tepper. David Tepper this past week, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, who has changed coaches more than we change. You know, in the record, we go from song to song on the radio. That's what Dave Tepper's done with coaches. Matt Rule no longer, Frank Reich no longer. Somebody needs to take that job. But they lose to Jacksonville, which, you know, you think he'd be used to that. Well, you think he'd be used to it. But throws a drink on a fan. And in doing so, the NFL fines the billionaire, which come to find out he's worth $27 billion.
It's a lot of beans.
$300,000.
Pocket change.
And Darren Rebel, who does a lot on Twitter or X, whatever. But basically, on the average income of the average person in the U.S., that's the equivalent to less than $2. So my question is, one, what would your suspension have been, or what would your punishment been, Misty, if you're Roger Goodell? And is it worse or the equivalent of what Draymond Green continues to do in the NBA?
I don't know the background of this guy. I don't know much about him at all, so I'm just going to be honest there. In terms of punishment, I mean, okay, I'm fine with the fine, like whatever. I think obviously as an owner of an organization, any organization, whether it's something small like us just working at our jobs, I mean, you just can't do that. So I'm fine with the fine that he got. That doesn't bother me at all. I don't really care about it.
Are you okay with that amount?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what those normally go for. You know, I don't know. Don't really care.
What does a drink throw normally?
Yeah, what does it normally cost?
Much less.
Oh, what did you never mind.
But-
I'll ask you a question, but I'm not going to let you answer that on here.
But no, I don't think. I mean, I don't know the history of this guy. Is this the very first time he's ever thrown a drink? You know, Draymond is quite different because he is a repeat offender. So is this just a one-off? He got ticked off, made a stupid decision.
Well, he just said, Misty, he's just real passionate about his team.
Okay, well, so am I, but I don't think I've ever thrown a drink on y'all, have I? So, I
Watch
mean,
out, Jono.
yeah,
Watch out, Jono. If the Commander scored a touchdown on Sunday, I may throw that shit.
I'm coming after you.
I won't do that to Jono. You can take me.
But I mean, I don't know. I just don't care. Like, I'm just like, okay, yeah, you got fined. But again, I don't think you can compare it because he's not a repeat offender, whereas Draymond obviously has a history.
Well, first of all, I think the whole thing's funny.
It is funny.
Like someone talks trash to the owner, and like from however that happened is just funny to me. And so I would say two things. If you're the recipient of that drink throw, if you're around anyone who's drinking and you do talk trash, you have to be prepared for something to happen to you. So that's just one aspect of that. And B, at two, I don't know if I said one or A the first time, so I was but yes, C. I don't know what would the normal repercussions be if this was if it was just another person in a box that was having an altercation with a fan on the row in front of him.
Well, I think
would they kick him out of the game? Would they say,
I
heard this on Greeny this week, and Himbo mentioned again, if you need a book, what's your number? Check it out. It's a great book. Said most likely if it was caught on camera, there's a chance that you may not be able to. There may be revoke of your tickets.
Right, and that's what.
And so I think there would be some punishment to the regular fan. It wouldn't be a $300,000 fine.
Right.
But I think access to maybe next year's games or whatever, you may have some suspension from the fan, like you would anywhere else.
Right, and I've heard that type of thing happens. People get kicked out of games and they can't come back, and you put on a list where you can't come for so long. Which I've always wondered, like. I mean, it'd be very easy to flag you if you were trying to purchase a ticket, but if I got misted by my ticket and handed it to me, do they have my picture?
Yeah.
When I go to turnstile?
Most wanted.
In the Masters, if those tickets are passed down and you do something, they will revoke those tickets and you won't get them ever again.
Right. And
he's saying like if I bought a ticket for him and
the Masters
gave it to
is
him.
different as far as like.
No, but I'm saying if he bought your tickets. Your Masters ticket.
Well, but those are allocated out and very.
Yeah, we're just talking about a normal
but
like
if
NFL ticket.
If you go to a Cowboys game, if we went to the first playoff game, this coming up game, there's no record. If I bought 6 tickets and we were going to go as 3 couples, my name's on 6 tickets. Maybe. I mean, if I use a credit card, what if you just walk to the window and pay cash? I mean, like I don't know that they can. That's a whole other thing. We're in a rabbit hole that is really, really strange. But I guess that, like, obviously it's not a good look for an owner on the sense of like he's not putting a good product on the field, and there's a lot of backstory as far as that
goes. His actions are reflecting his product. Right.
Maybe
so
you're the problem.
It's not a $300,000 fine, and I know that he's worth $27 billion. It's still $300,000, and obviously he has the ability to pay that. Where if you find me that, I'd probably, obviously, well, I guess I'm not ever gonna own the team anymore. I can't pay the fine. I mean, I don't know, but like,
I got you.
It's strange.
I got you. I'll loan you the money.
Dig around in that mattress and see what you can find.
$3.36.
I got a feeling we'd all be like Kramer and have to adopt the highway and start.
Bro, I'm starting to GoFundMe.
But it's really just not an excusable action. So something had to be done, and I don't know that there's really an appropriate level of fine. I mean, how you determine that?
Well, and I'm sure somebody went and looked in the book and like, we don't have this in here. We don't have this in here to find somebody. We have it if you punch somebody. We have somebody if you kick. We have somebody if you do this. We do not have, and Jerry Jones probably would have done it because he wouldn't waste Johnny Walker on anybody. There's no way. He would just have to throw the
His drink is worth more than the fine.
He would just have to throw the cup. Hey, but again, that is our Lawrence Hall headline report. David Tepper, $3,000 less. But the good thing is he will have plenty of time in the offseason to think about it because the Carolina Panthers are nowhere near the world.
And they traded away their first pick, which they earned.
Yeah, they earned.
They're a hot mess. It is like rolling.
So that is our Lawrence Hall report. Hey, check them out if you need a new year, new you, new car. Give them a call and they'll get you taken care of. When we come back, our Pest Control phone line and our Big Country Electric My Town segment with head coach Josh Lustell. Let's see if this phone actually does work.
Can you imagine Jerry Jones throwing his cup at someone? Or like,
I mean, I could see.
I mean, I could see it, like, but it just.
He would throw it and it would be intent. It would hit who it was not.
How embarrassing though, like, I don't know. I mean, we've all done stupid stuff. Like, oh,
But I'm just, here's the thing.
you just have to know what you're getting into in an atmosphere like that.
And I don't excuse it, but
No.
but if you're the fan who's talking trash to the opposing
Right,
team's owner, you know, like,
be ready.
Can you hear me?
well, talking trash to anybody.
All right.
If you're at a football
I
game.
thought
and
at
you-
first I told Trace last night at dinner, he was like,
And I've seen.
I guess it's where that mercury
At a-
is.
at a sporting event, and a fan of another team starts mouthing because their team is beating with your team.
Yeah, after I said that,
I'm like,
No,
I'm just back there
so,
playing
it's
at
just,
4 and
it's just not.
you should, yeah.
4 and 5:15.
Yeah.
I
I don't know, if I'm going to a,
Hey, real quick,
Uh,
is y'all's bracket still up? I was gonna look and
football
see who won everything, or who won the
and
tournament.
I've done this before.
Yeah, if you go to our website, US, I think, there should be a whole page that has all the brackets and everything updated.
Let's see if that just, let's see, read more. Cause I know
It
y'all,
should be on that initial page, there should be a link that says U Holiday Classic. I think it's still up.
yeah. So y'all got Bear tonight. How many, have y'all played many, district games yet?
No, this is first district game.
Gotcha. I'm sure I'll figure it out here in a minute. Who did win it though?
On the girls' side it's Comanche, on the boys' side it's Holiday.
Who did they beat in the?
Comanche beat San Saba and Holiday beat Grayford.
Oh wow, that's gonna be pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
Holiday's really good. They've got that about 6'7" guard that's sister, went to I think Iowa or whatever. He's a stud.
Are y'all back in school?
Not till Monday. I mean the teachers are back, but our kids don't come back till Monday.
Yeah, that's what Tracy's got. Tracy's got Monday, but I think like Winters in some schools already gone back to school.
Yeah, I know some people came back midweek, but we're not back yet.
We got a couple more, and then how do you get ready? District season. It's now here. All the normal fun stuff.
Yeah.
How's Baird?
They're not real strong, I don't believe.
All right, here we go. All right, I'm gonna put you off. We got one more commercial. We're back.
Okay.
Yes. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between. It's time when you hear that for our Big Country Electric My Town segment where we highlight a local player coach program. And today, again, Roby does a great job taking care of their members each and every day. Roby Snyder in Stanford areas. And joining us is new year, first show of the year, and a buddy of mine on the Pest Patrol phone line, Coach Josh Fostel, the head coach at EULA, and all the other duties that do imply tournament director, Rose Bowl parade guy, all the things. But joining us, Coach Fostel, appreciate you taking time this morning. on a big district kickoff day? Well, Eula's no stranger to the Hodge Pack in the years. We've had cross countries, we've had golfers, we've had basketball. Y'all went on the big Disney tournament. I guess was it last year? Maybe been 2 years ago in the old studio. But Coach, you've been there a long time, and you've been one of those guys we talk about in football. There's a lot of big country coaches that are respected across the country, the state, because of what they do. There's no different with the Eula basketball. Talk about just the place that you've been and the time that you've been in taking pride in establishing not only the boys' side winning the state championship, but now what you're doing on the girls' side. Well, and you talk about that, and you made the move. Of course, when people says, "Well, why do you make the move?" Well, go to his house. He's got a house full of girls, and you get to coach your kids. And talk about what that's like. There's always the coaches. You always say, "Man, we love having coaches' kids. It's always a plus." Talk about being on the coach and dad side of what that looks like for you. Well, just real quick, one of our real good buddies that made that change was Clay Barnett, and of course he's had the success he's had at Levelland and Merkle. And did you reach out to anybody before you made that move, or did you just say, "Hey, coaching's coaching," or did you talk to anybody that made that move?
Yeah, I did. I got a couple of good friends that have been in the area and that have made that move. Clay's one of them. So I kind of talked to him, and then obviously Coach Cooley over at Jim Ned made an almost exact same move that I did. So just kind of reaching out to them, not only about coaching your kids, but about just the differences on the girls and the boys side. So like I said, the most fun part has been, in a lot of ways, it's like coaching a different sport sometimes. But it was just a new challenge for me, and has been really everything I hoped for so far.
Well, and let's talk about one thing that you do, and that you said you've been there 20 plus years, and there was a stretch where when I was coaching in Roby, we would come, they always talk about the Whataburger, but one of the best Christmas holiday tournaments in the state is right there in Eula. And talk about that. I was listening to an article or press conference, Kirby Smart, of, man, this Orange Bowl is fun, the committee and all that. Talk about what it takes and what it means to not only still have your games to coach, to be able to put on a tournament that people from all over the state are coming to.
Yeah, that's kind of been one of our biggest, I would say, kind of a passion of our community. And the first thing I'd say is just how many people it takes to put on a successful tournament. And it's certainly, once that thing gets going, I'm a small part of it, but and it just kind of has grown and grown as far as the duties. I mean, we have people from our community and our staff there that do so much during that tournament. Now compared to 10 years ago, we have people that focus just on the social media side, and of course we have all the book and clock and gate workers that do a great job. And I mean, just every little thing from filling up water jugs to making sure teams have locker rooms assigned, and then you go to our officiating sure we got people there for over 60 games in a 3-day period. So it's one of the best times of the year. Obviously, really busy, a lot of work leading up to it by our entire staff. But once it gets rolling, it's pretty much all these other people from you that make it a success.
Well, of course, the most important thing a lot of times is the hospitality room, and a guy that's been there from the coaching side, the officiating side, that's always a good thing. Hospitality is big. So again, tournament was big, Holiday winning it on the boys' side, San Saba winning it on the girls' side. Again, people from Canadian, Toller, all over the place in there. So again, great tournament. People, if you've never been, book your ticket, get ready to do that next year. Let's talk about now.
It was actually Comanche beat San Saba on the girls' side.
Oh, right. Okay, Comanche winning it again. Shout out, we've got a friend of mine's granddaughter, the freshman that's on Comanche's team. So Comanche won the girls' side, beating San Saba, and then Holiday beating a good Grafer team as well. And so let's talk about moving into district. I mean, we mentioned the respect that EULA has, not only on the girls' side with the folks that have been there from Corley to Masonheimer and what you're doing now, that expectations are to play some postseason basketball, and it starts tonight. Coach K always says you play pre-conference and you play tournament, and then you play conference or pre-conference, conference, and you get into the tournament, and then you into March Madness. How do things change and you get ready to kick off district tonight against Bear?
Well, we've including our tournament, we try to play a really tough pre-district schedule just to get ready for what starts tonight, and so you kind of shift gears. The preparation's a little bit different, and just the kids know that they all count now. And as exciting as some of our pre-district is, none of those, if you lose a game, not a big deal. But starting tonight, everything affects your playoff run, and that's what you're working towards. So definitely moving into that kind of second tier of our season. So we're excited to get going and feel like we're ready and prepared, and we're lucky right now to be healthy. So that's a good thing.
So what are some of the strengths of this year's team that you feel like, are the reasons that you have a chance to have a pretty good ceiling for 2024?
We have a core group of 4 or 5 girls that have been on varsity, or played varsity minutes since they were freshmen. And so that's given it, I'd still say we're relatively young, just one senior, but we've got although we've got some girls that will be coming back next year, we've got a core group that, has a lot of experience over the last 2 years. So that's just, they've gotten better and better and put in a lot of work. So I'd say that's kind of the strength of our team is a group that's experienced, a core group that's experienced.
So you got no school today. What does a day look like getting ready for a district game, playing a little bit earlier, but what does it look like? What does a day look like with no school, trying to keep kids focused? Of course, everybody loves basketball in EULA, but what does the day look like today for Postel, the family, and all the Lady Pirates?
For me, we're going, our staff's back at work, so we'll be at work here this morning, and we've got junior high games that start back on Monday, so we've got to practice for that. We've actually got a youth practice for my little 4th and 5th grade girls team this afternoon, and then we'll bring in the high school kids early afternoon just to kind of shoot around and get ready for tonight.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking the time on a work day, game day, kid practice day, everything. I appreciate you. Again, one of the things I miss about coaching is guys like you, but again, always a coach. But I appreciate the friendship and look forward to seeing what the Lady Pirates do this year. And again, you've built a great program and continuing to do so. And so best of luck the rest of the year. Appreciate you joining us this morning.
All right, Ryan, we appreciate the kind words. Appreciate y'all's coverage of all these local athletes.
Appreciate it. Hey, have a good one. And again, that's Coach Josh Postel, the head girls coach at EULA. They kick off district tonight against the Bears, the Callahan County game tonight. So appreciate Coach Postel. When we come back, we'll start looking at the college football playoff. Kicks off Monday, not playoff, the championship. We'll be back right after this.
You're missing one of the best
Coach,
foods
appreciate it.
around, with amazing food,
Yeah, man.
great drinks, live music, and
See you
TVs
later.
to watch your favorite sporting events. The Potosi Live team will make sure you have an experience that you're going to tell you about. Check out PotosiLive.com or go like them at Potosi Live on Facebook for their upcoming live music and ticket events. Head out to Potosi at 897 FM 17 for the Potosi Live experience.
Cowboys football and Miller Lite, what a pairing. Can cracks at kickoff. Tailgates going way past postgame. Sunday night overtimes followed by Monday morning swag. Brisket in the smoker. Miller Lite in the can. America's team. Playing America's greatest sport. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys football tastes like Miller time.
There's my guy. He just walked by.
Texas.
He's the cutest with his little headphones.
There's no better place than Lawrence Hall in Abilene. For over 34 years, Lawrence Hall in Abilene has been the place to find the best in Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. That is still true today. Great products and great service too. So the next time you need a new car, truck, or SUV, come see us or shop 24/7 at Lawrence Hall Abilene online.com. Go to Abilene's best new car dealer for over 28 years. How you, our customers.
Hi, I'm Sharon Riley. Here in Abilene, folks have lots of options for eating out. Large chains, or little mom and pops like us. I want you to know we really appreciate your business and are always striving for wonderful food, service, and prices. So we visited you and have updated our menu, bringing back old favorites like nachos, fajitas, and adding more small plates for the light appetite. So come see us. I'm here in Houston. Yum.
They don't realize.
Hello, Abilene Country. Resources Incorporated. I'm here to tell you about our document destruction and paper shredder business. Our services include pickups, purges, or we accept drop-offs at our state-of-the-art.
When we come back,
facility. We are in the
we're going to talk about that, but one of our first ones is give you a chance that we didn't do is your 2023 recap. We'll get a Rangers and
Okay.
Hodge Pack moment or whatever.
Oh yeah, we did Hodge Pack moment of the year. I picked your rap. Yeah, it was. But yeah, we picked
Well, when-
team of the year,
And you don't have to do all.
play of the year. Yeah, we did.
But just kind of look back on the year. But the funny thing is when you look back at it, on how many of those things you forgot were part of this year. Like I went back to the podcast, and like Naked and Afraid was like one of the very beginning part of the year.
That was one of our best podcasts and shows. Like everybody liked that question.
Well,
So weird.
people find it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just Googled this and it popped up.
I was disappointed when I couldn't see anybody naked, but. No, you weren't. You're glad you did. Nope. I'm gonna send another bill to Melanie. That's a new one, yeah. We'll try to see if it's it.
I don't want to do anything naked. Like other than, but like.
Sorry, Clay. Appreciate you watching.
I never do.
But like, I'm just like working out, goat yoga, like anything.
Goat yoga?
I don't want to do naked.
What's goat yoga?
Oh my gosh, y'all don't know what goat yoga is? We should totally do it. I mean, not naked.
I've never been so glad to get back on the air. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack Sports Live and everything in between.
That's a lie. You've been in
Whatever.
worse moments.
You
That
have.
is true. That is very true.
That could be parked your cars.
No, it was perfect park car. The lady next to me. Hey, we're glad that you're with us. We're having a great New Year. At what point do you stop saying Happy New Year, Josh?
I don't know. I've talked about this with several people. It's sometime in January. I haven't nailed it down, but I have heard people go into February with it. You can't do that.
Yeah, no,
It's
definitely
all
not.
about that.
Cut it off by the 15th.
But if you
That's about the time the New Year's resolutions go out the
I
window anyway,
know.
so cut it off.
I now have changed that to I hope your new year has started well. Not Happy New Year,
I
like
love
just
that.
hope your New Year started well.
Yeah.
Like
Well, in Happy New Year, does that mean we hope you only have a really good
Beginning.
first? Like January 1st is hope it
It's
goes
good.
well?
yeah, how long is it new?
Right.
like when you get a pair of shoes, how long do you consider them your new shoes that you don't want to wear until they get dirty?
Well, your new car is your new car until you go through a drive-through and don't care if a fry gets somewhere. That's basically when you realize it's no longer your new
How
car.
about happy 24?
Happy
Just
24.
Just happy 24.
You can say that all the way until 25.
Yeah, I will be saying happy 24.
Well, happy 24 to all of you out there. Appreciate you being here this morning. Don't forget you can listen, KLGD1069.com, anywhere in the world, or you can watch us at HodgePackSports.com.
You don't think they censor us in China?
Well, we were downloaded in South Africa. We were downloaded in Madagascar and Costa Rica. So we
no China. So we have no proof that you can listen to us in China.
Not yet, but
Okay. Well, just wanted to see.
feel free if you're heading that way. Leaving me Ranchito to go to the airport to go to China.
Let us know.
Let us know. And since it's the new year, Josh, last week while you were attempting to get the monster that hopefully you get later today or tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah.
If the deer's listening, he's coming. We got through Chuck E. Cheese, so we made it to there too. We look back at 2023. Of course, we knew we answered your pro team of the year, the Atlanta Falcons.
Huge.
We knew the Texas Rangers was your moment. It will be your moment until baseball season. Maybe until they repeat or don't, it will always be your moment. So when you look back at 2023, what are some of the moments that you remember, maybe even deeper into the Ranger part of it? And then, of course, maybe a Hodge Pack moment of the year that you had.
Well, I guess to nail down the sports moment of the year, it would definitely be the Corey Seager game tying home run that then led to the Garcia walk off. And just that game being at Globe Life, which I was not there. That was very pricey, but the excitement that was there and watching that on TV and everything, and we have a picture of it that we put up in the boys' room, got a big print after Corey Seager hit that ball and his just kind of like I don't know, like primal emotion, and that is, and he doesn't usually show that type of emotion, so that moment was one that will always stick with me. And then in general, you put me on the spot with the Hodge Pack moment of the year, because there are a lot of funny things that happen that I can't really nail down exactly when they happened, if it was this year or not, because honestly, time flies, and as I say, when you're having fun, generally we have fun on here. So I'm glad that we're still rolling with the Hodge Pack and that we get together, all three of us, and have fun. I hope the listeners like it also.
Right, and it has been fun. And again, we'll talk a little bit later on in the second hour about just why we're excited about 2024. And of course, we're down here at the mall, which has been a nice move with our new studio. We're still decorating.
Yeah, it looks very nice.
People walking by and waving at us. It's always good. So
it is so fun. I just love
y'all
these
both
mall
waved, and I
walkers.
turned around and saw no one, and I was like, what is going on?
I see dead people.
There's no one there.
But yeah, so the Texas Rangers winning, and then of course, just I think rolling into 24, we're hoping that, and we'll read some of your bold predictions on our Facebook page. But I agree. I think it's been a lot of fun, and that's one thing we want to tell you. Misty and I saw some folks yesterday at a luncheon. We enjoy being what you wake up to on Fridays. Like Coach Reese said last week, we listen every Friday. We appreciate those that are listening. We appreciate those that are on our College Bowl Pick'em that I am no longer available because both my teams are out of it. But knowing that there's people not related to us that watch.
Yes.
And so we appreciate that. And again, we thank y'all for all that you do for the Hodge Pack, and we'll continue to keep rolling. So again, Texas Rangers, obviously the moment of the year for you. We were at Mulligan's, which we'll get to Misty's bag a little bit later. But again, great year, great 23, but we're looking forward to 24. And part of 24 is the College Football Playoff Championship. Let's look back. We talked about the bowls not mattering. The bowl's been terrible. Georgia destroying Florida. And then everybody says, well, Florida State shouldn't be in. Well, I think things would be different Honestly, and I thought about this, they should have put Georgia and Oregon against each other. And I don't know when people opted out and decided not to play, but if that was the case, Bo Nix played, and if Bo Nix, obviously Penix Jr. playing makes sense because he's in the national championship playoff. But your thoughts on that situation? Liberty gets blown out by Oregon, Florida State gets blown out by Georgia. Just what are y'all's thoughts about those two things before we get into the CFP?
First of all, I think on the college pick'em, it said that I picked Liberty. That did not happen. I'm not sure why that got changed. If you're looking at that on there and thought, what is wrong with them? I'm pretty sure I let one of my children look at it and that got switched. Because I saw no opportunity for Liberty to win that game. I saw no opportunity for Florida State to win against Georgia. And, they can make excuses all they want. I don't think they had a chance against Georgia, full strength against full strength. We talked about this before.
You got to feel comfortable. It would have been 63.
I don't think it would have been 63-3.
But
I think it would have been 42-28. I don't think that Florida State had the ability to compete with Georgia. And for all the hype and the hubbub of we got screwed, it was a snub, undefeated team should have been there. They never played anyone all year, minus LSU, which we talked about before, that LSU did not exactly carry that through to make that game look as big of a win as it did.
It wasn't all they lost.
Right. And so I don't think they deserve to be there. And if too many people have the, well, I'm going to take my ball and go home mentality, which then tanks your program. If you have that little bit of care about your teammates and your coaches that have put their blood, sweat, and tears, as they say, into your development all year, and now you're going to peace out, I don't have a lot of respect for that overall. I'm not saying there's situations that's not the right choice for you as a person, and I can't get into everybody's particular situation, but the way that system has devolved into a work for the moment. Y'all are waving at people behind me, and it's making me nervous. I'm gonna have to rearrange where I sit in this place.
We're waving at you, Josh.
We love you.
That happens all too much.
Joshy.
Like, why's the person waving at me? And you wave back, and you're like, oh wait, they're waving at me.
I did that yesterday. It was so awkward.
It is super awkward. Just want to put on the whole. But anyway, the system has to change, because what this has become is, and the thing is, and I've heard somebody talking about it, well, you still get those players that step up that play. Those are going to be the guys that are on the field next year. So it might actually help your program, move in that direction. But I don't think that's what the bowl game is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be an exhibition game for your B team to come out there and get some,
and it becomes a field trip.
Yeah.
It's a field trip for the kids.
Yes, exactly.
And so, anyway, I think
and it makes picking bowl games incredibly difficult.
Oh, you don't know who's playing. You don't know any of that.
Well, and after all the hype, how embarrassed? I would be embarrassed if I was at Florida State.
Right. And there are people saying if they beat Georgia, they can claim national champion, and they might get some votes in the coaches poll.
Show up, bro.
And
what the heck?
And honestly, I said this before, but I think Georgia's the best team in college football.
Georgia should have been there, in my opinion. Should have been in the top 4. I would have had. Who would I have kicked?
Well, Washington won, so it makes it hard to say this in retrospect.
Right.
I would have at the time put them in above Washington.
And you'd have left Texas and Alabama in?
Yeah, because I still think, the outcomes of those games notwithstanding, there were some coaching and execution issues at the end of both the Texas and the Alabama offenses that were that could change the outcomes of those games, but that's neither here nor there. But I'm saying, without doing the hindsight 2020 thing, I would have put Georgia in over Washington. Washington now has a very strong chance of winning the national championship. I still think that Michigan was one of those teams that undefeated from the Big Ten, but then the Big Ten hasn't looked good in bowl season, and I don't think they're as strong as what they were getting credit for. So I think that's a huge test for Michigan. And then Michael Penix Jr. is just really good.
And I think that's the other thing. First of all, do you think this college football game coming up Monday is as sexy as it could have been?
I mean, obviously not as it could have been. I think a lot of people did want to see the Bama-Texas rematch. That's who I picked. I was wrong there. I said it. I admitted it. So I had this completely wrong. But I'm excited about this. You know, I think a lot of people are excited too. It's not the Georgias, the Texas, the Bamas. You know, it's somebody new. So I'm excited about this. I think it could definitely be tit for tat. The way that they played Bama in Texas. And so I am excited about this. I don't know that it's as sexy, but it's sexy enough for me.
But I think the appeal that it brings is, one, is Jim Harbaugh going to finally win one? And is he coaching his possible last game at Michigan to go to the NFL? Penix Jr., who's had a number of knee injuries when he was at Indiana, and now he's getting this opportunity to win a national championship. They had a national championship back in the day where they split with Miami in '91. And Penix Jr. just makes some throws that's just very impressive to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I do think I'm going to make sure I carve out time to watch it. Like some people may, well, I'm not going to watch it. Well, I'm going to make sure I watch this game Sunday. And I do think it has a chance to be a really good game. You mentioned the play call at the end of the Alabama game. I don't understand why Texas doesn't throw every pass they have into the end zone down the stretch instead of a little swing pass that wastes 5 seconds. Yes, good thing he got out of bounds because you got 2 other opportunities. So
who do you have?
But
I think honestly, I do believe in momentum. I do believe in some confidence when people move into these games. I do go back to and I'll talk about this when the Dallas Cowboys, we talk about having to go on the road. Michigan they've been 3 times in a row. This is their 3rd time, first time getting into the ship. You still have to believe that you can get it done. I think the underdog part of Washington will play it a little bit, and I think Michael Penix Jr. will be the reason. They won the Joe Moore Award with the best offensive line. They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to keep Michigan off of Penix. But I think Washington wins the national championship on Sunday.
How close is that game?
I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's designed to be a good game. And that's one thing that we got, and I know we need to go to break, so I want to come back and do Misty's bag. That's one thing we finally got. It took us the last 4, but we got 2 games that mattered, 2 games that were entertaining, 2 games that literally went down to the wire, and one went into the other wire. We got what we wanted. And I hope that, and I don't see why we don't get that Monday night.
Well, and I agree. I think it will be a good game. And as far as the overall appeal of the game, I think regionally it lost appeal. But nationally, I don't think there's any less appeal. You know, because Michigan is a blue blood. They're a long-standing, huge following program that will have no problem drawing fans and people watching the game. And it's not. I had no dog in the fight anyway, so
right.
I watched the New Year's games just for pure enjoyment of watching football. I'll do the same, even though I did pick the teams that lost, so that I still had to get more on the line. But I'll do the same in this game, and I would have no matter who it was, because it is the last college football game of the year, so that's always something that you don't get back for a while. So I don't think it's a weak game. I don't think that the networks are like, oh geez, now what are we going to do?
There's no doubt. I agree with Misty. I think
there's a lot of storylines on both of these sides, and so I think that helps. Is he going to finally get his? Where's he going to be coaching? I mean, all of those things. But yeah, no, I think it's great. Who do you have winning it all?
I have Washington also, but I've been so wrong lately. I'd probably just drop.
Congratulations, Michigan.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have Washington as well.
Yeah, they're screwed.
So yeah, I'm here for a underdog. I think it's going to be a good game. I hope it's going to be a good game. I hope they both show up healthy. It's good. They both play really well.
They do have a running back. Washington does have a running back in question.
Right.
And it's down in Houston, so we'll see what happens there. But I do think, back to your point, I think, and a bit of I think if Michigan was in, from a sex appeal was the right one. I do think Texas being in, I think Michigan was the fine that was, like, it wouldn't have mattered if Michigan's in. The fact that Texas and Michigan would have been sexy.
Oh, that would have been,
Alabama, Texas would have been the sexy.
that would have been a more generally, nationally thought of game, because Washington has that West Coast, the kind of anti-bias, because generally the Pac-12 just doesn't get watched by as many people. That changed a little this year. They had more games earlier in the day. I feel like, just anecdotally, I hadn't looked at the numbers, but
probably on purpose,
right,
which is what the Dodgers should do.
And the Washington not being not that they're a nothing program, but they're not one of the traditional powerhouse always.
Well, and they're probably a little bit above of TCU. Like last year, TCU was the group that just, hey, we're happy to be here. Oh no, we won a game. Now we have a chance to win it all. I don't see that happening.
Well, and I
don't see Georgia TCU.
No, I don't think it's going to be a throttling.
TCU also is the antithesis of what networks want. And that there are other schools that would be in the same boat, Baylor being one of them, but the smaller, not big, huge national following fan bases you don't want that on national games if you're the network.
Washington can win this game. I don't think that anybody thought TCU. I don't know. Correct me if y'all think this.
No.
I mean, we knew it was going to be a throttling. I don't see that with these two teams. I don't see just a huge smash. I think it could be a tit for tat game.
And I agree with you in the fact that, and I know back to, again, it's funny what you said, Josh said, as far as retrospect on this side of it. TCU is kind of like a video game where you play it and you have that life, and each time you get hit, it goes down. Well, I think that's what TCU did. They were playing this video game and they got to the final level and they only had about that much life left.
Yeah.
And
like you said, they were just happy to be there.
And then Georgia took it.
Yeah.
And the next thing you know, you're trying to figure out what's on TV and if The Bachelor or something.
Which is the one thing that when those games get away, that's what they don't want. Like that Florida State Georgia game being such a demolishment that I was, well, I guess I'll just do whatever.
Yeah, you turn it off.
I did not watch it.
You waited until the Cowboys started.
Yeah,
which they almost didn't get to be where they are. But again, the college football national championship Monday night, Washington, Michigan, down in Houston. Who will win? Who will walk away? And will it be the last game for Jim Harbaugh at Michigan? When we come back, we'll get rolling into the 8 o'clock hour closely, and we'll have Misty's Bag brought to you by Mullins.
Oh.
All right, good morning, Cole Ward. Now, my question is, and I know he may be on the can, what would you do to fix it?
Well, I think obviously they're going to expand the playoff, and that's going to help. But okay, if they expanded it, and like this year they put in Florida State and Georgia, Florida State's still getting throttled by every team in there. You know what I mean? Like if this year it was
they wouldn't in the first round.
Well, not in the first round.
But they would be like you're going to watch in the NFL next week. You would have people playing each other with chances early. And then it's going to,
they're going to, obviously, but I think that will change everything. Because what are they going to? Is it 12? Yeah. So
well, I think that's a big step in the right direction.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be way better.
Because no one, at least at first, I think it could easily change in the long run where people will be the 10th, 11th, 12th team in and be like, I think I'll save it for the NFL.
Yes. That's what's going to be.
But I'm telling you, I think one, and I don't know if you could do it because you would have the season in and all that. And it doesn't help right now. If you look, and I thought he should have won it anyway. But Jalen Daniels, Penix would win the Heisman like this if they voted today.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to tie this NIL money to finish the season.
Well, that's one thing I would do.
They got to get that crap under control.
Every NIL contract, I would have in there that if if you declare you are leaving before the final game of the season, you negate your
Yes.
NIL money.
And I don't care if you're playing in the Bad Boys Mower Bowl, or if you're playing
Yes.
in
Bama Bobo? What?
Well, yeah, the bowls have to have some sort of importance to these teams.
It's almost like they need to find a way to create a pot. The winner of this bowl, every player gets $5K.
Yes, something.
Loser gets
Give them an incentive to play,
$1,000 or nothing.
which is sad. They've got to give them an incentive to play, but yeah, do it.
That's what I think they've got to tie to.
It just sucks that you have we've got to incentivize these kids to play and maintain that loyalty to finish the season before they go do, I don't know. It's a damn mess. It should have never gotten to this point.
Nope, I'm gonna go over. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between, rocking and rolling. About to roll into the 8 o'clock hour, brought to you by Coleman County State Bank. Hope everybody's having a great day again. First show of the year, Hodge, Josh, and Misty, rocking and rolling, trying to solve the world's problems when it comes to college football playoff. They should put us on the committee. Just real quick, before we go into the 8 o'clock hour and Misty's bag, how would you fix it, Misty? How would you fix, there's a clip, and I'll put it on our Facebook page. How would you fix this situation to avoid what we have with Florida State?
So I think that we kind of talked about it in the break, so I won't say everything we talked about, so y'all can take that. But I think obviously getting the NIL somewhat situated, but incentivize these players to play in the bowl game.
Two things, and that would be, I think that they should go to a straight playoff that is similar to what they do in D2 and D3. I've never understood, I know it's money and the people that are making money not wanting to lose that, but there's the money would still be there. And if you went to a truly expanded playoff, if you can do it in Division II and Division III with the budgets that they have, and really where they're not raking in money every game, I don't see why you couldn't do that on the D1 level. And then the second part would be eliminating the transfer portal at least until the season is over. And I know that creates issues with getting from school A to school B over the break, but and there might be things in extenuating circumstances, I know, but giving people the option of just being like, yeah, I'm out, I don't like that. And I think that every NIL contract should stipulate that you do not declare you are transferring or going to the NFL prior to your team's last game.
Well, and I agree. You mentioned about the quote from Lane Kiffin in our pre-show meeting about how Lane Kiffin talked about no professional league has free agency. They have a trade deadline,
yes,
and they make trades, but nobody has free agency right in the middle of the season where you can just say, you know what, I'm done. Now, if you opt out, you could sit and people hold out, but it's at the beginning of the year. And it may roll into the season, but when they do, you know what happens? They get fined.
Well, yes, and that's less
the
money
thing
and
that's gonna-
all of those things.
And eventually, and I go back to Misty and I go back to you and synergy altogether, is it's no different than the NFL. You start affecting game checks, and that's what Pete Thamel said. The NFL guys, if they don't play that game, you start making that money game checks. And if you don't play the game check, if you don't play game week, you don't get a game check. So if you don't play your ball game, that's one less check that you don't get.
Yep.
And that's what I think you have to tie it to, in my opinion. But we'll fix that. But we're going to fix something next, I'm sure, with Misty's bag. But let's first pause for station identification. All right, Misty, it is time for your bag.
All right, so we are brought to y'all by Mulligan Sports Bar Grill and Golf. So they're having a new group coming out on Saturday. 180 is the live music for tomorrow night, so that's going to be fun. So call ahead, seating, don't forget. That's a really great thing you can do at Mulligan's. Call ahead, get your table. You don't have to worry about anything. So head out to Mulligan's and definitely do that this weekend. So, okay, it's a new year. A lot of people making changes. You know, the whole new year, new you, new me, all the things. So for the new year, if you came with a warning label, what would it say?
A warning label.
I thought I am a walking warning label.
You are, but you now have to say it because, you know, if you had to wear a warning label, biohazard, what would it say?
Biohazard.
Well, I think, you know, me, there's no telling. One, I guess, be ready to ask for interpretation.
Up for interpretation. Maybe that's what yours could say.
Because there's things, whether it's a text, sometimes I say
I
stuff.
can't spell.
No, I can spell, or it's some words I can't. But that's spell check ought to just change it for you.
That's called autocorrect, and it does not help you.
No, that is true.
He's like, I can spell as I'm looking at the rundown going, really? Can you?
Which ones?
I just saw 3. Let's see. Escape, Cardinals,
It is
Georgia. There's several.
Dallas Cowboys, Escape, we're getting there.
It
That's not
reminds-
even a sentence.
It's Finding Nemo. Escape.
No, Escape, it's, I guess you don't watch a lot of European shows, but Escape is
Yeah, do tell.
Dallas Cowboys Escape. Do they really? You know,
The next sentence on that same NFL recap line is a good one too.
Yeah, it's just great. But anyway,
all right,
so
we'll get that. So warning label B, there's a chance you're not going to understand me. Interpretations needed and still may not be there.
Phonics
needed.
did not work for me.
Interpretation may be needed, but explanation will still not be there.
Which still doesn't make sense.
That's the perfect warning label. I don't even know what that means.
I don't either.
Just like
But
anything Fox tries to
if they were to pick me up at a grocery store aisle,
Yeah, you might get a
For
hot
those that are
date,
on-
like if you're
listening.
single. You know, this could lead to a hot date. Like if we were all single, we're not. We're all very married, happily married. But if we were at a store, you know, you got to make sure it's like good. You know, we want people to.
well, I would be a full adventure because they wouldn't know what's happening. So
a full adventure.
maybe that's my
Nice.
warning
a
label.
full adventure.
Maybe that is
Oh.
that is my warning.
Maybe a warning label or like an
Mine's just gonna be naked and afraid.
a full adventure.
I don't want to do anything naked.
Available now.
So
Unintelligible Hodge, a full adventure. It's a good action figure.
buy that off the shelf.
I actually like that. A full adventure.
I'm really stoked on this one. The one thing that I think would be the most obvious is I recently had to purchase a washing machine because the old one, the spin cycle stopped working. That just wasn't happening. So I said, danger, team lift. I'm too heavy for one person to pick up.
There you go. Danger
That's
team
actually
lift. That's pretty
great.
good.
I know, maybe
We'll
we
try
should have,
to, Misty and I'll try to pick you up during the next break.
No,
Maybe we
that's
should have come up-
yes.
We'll get some mall walkers to help us. We need to get up the chair.
I've thought about this. Just in weird, like your house is on fire and you've passed out due to the smoke, and like you get the maybe not the fireman that spends all his off days, or off time in the weight room, and I'm laying on the floor in there, and can't move that guy. Like,
oh my God, that's so sad. You actually lost sleep over this. Oh man, I know. Maybe we should have created warning labels for each other. That would have been better.
well, and the other would be like I'm just prone to random opinions that you cannot dissuade me of.
Yeah, be ready to lose an argument.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know if he's listening, but that would be Zane. Be ready to lose an argument.
open for debates.
All right, so what's yours?
Hmm.
Jingle.
I think I wrote down several, but
Wow.
Sounds
like the read off of one of those medicines. Take this, and they do this to you. Go ahead.
The side effects are not worth it.
I'm trying to think.
That's just the label. The side effects are not worth it.
Yeah, honestly, don't pick me. Yeah, you don't want me. Probably something along the lines of that's what she said. I feel like
Totally, that's what I was thinking for you.
really, yeah,
100%.
but I don't know, something maybe more clever. No filter. Half the time I really don't even realize I said it, and then I'm like, ooh, kind of like earlier. It's like naked and afraid goat yoga, and y'all are like, what? I'm like, I don't know what I just said. So probably
I don't want to
something.
Google that either.
Not images.
I can't believe y'all never heard of goat yoga.
Never heard of it.
It's literally just yoga with goats on you,
What?
little baby goats. That's why would you want to do that naked? It's
Why would
so
you wanna do
weird.
that?
Why would you want to do that?
I think
in
that would
any
be fun, little
situation?
baby goat on my back,
What?
while I'm
Are the
doing.
goats trained just to sit there?
I,
Or do you just go on a field and hope
you
they jump on
you literally go in a field and they may put a goat on you, or it may jump on you, or whatever.
Wow.
I am
Goat
shocked
yoga
that
will be
y'all.
in the podcast title.
I am
Full adventure
now-
goat yoga.
So imagine
Full
if you're
adventure
doing
goat.
downward dog, you're not gonna want a goat on you, especially if you're naked.
I like how you
Like, you can't hear that I just say naked. Oh, and
her go-to accent is
hit-
always
the hick
hillbilly.
voice.
Like she goes
oh my
straight
God.
Tom Green.
I'm from Robert Lee. What do you expect?
Isn't that Tom Green County?
Yeah, that's all I've got. Yeah, or my bust into accents or songs repeatedly.
So what was your that's what she said.
What?
That's what she said, or just be ready for random thoughts.
Or I don't know how to, something, no filter, obviously.
No filter would
Approach
probably-
with caution, no filter.
All right, so what did mine end up saying? Full adventure?
Full adventure.
I can't
I'm
spell.
not really sure.
Full adventure.
Full adventure, interpretation needed.
I really just pictured you as an action figure in a box.
Hey, I
You
think
could
bobbleheads
push-
are coming.
pull the string like Woody in Toy Story, and then some
That
unintelligible
would be
sentence
funny.
comes out.
That honestly, and I know we gotta go to commercial. I know.
Dorioja.
And you'd also need to say Phil Go. I don't understand what Phil Go is.
Hey, that would be funny. That would be another question for her to say maybe down the road. Is if you were to be a pull string doll, what would be the 4 or 5 things that would come out of your lips? No doubt, Phil Go would be one. 2 would probably be something along the lines. The deal is, I say there's always
The
a deal.
deal is,
I do have a deal.
yours would have to have the kung fu hand talking motion.
Mine could say all about the Benjamins.
Yes, for sure. Well, what's all about the Benjamins, again, head out to Mulligan's this weekend. 180's playing. Again, big football games this weekend. Go check them out at Mulligan's. Get the steak fingers. Or, as Misty would like to say as we head into the commercial break, get you some tater cakes.
Hey, home of the tater pigs.
Wow.
I don't know why I always go hillbilly.
Wait, I'll tell you what. We went over there to Mulligan's. These good.
They're so good. Y'all, I'm shocked.
Your hillbilly voice, I mean, don't take this the wrong way. This is gonna come out very.
Don't
very-
take this badly, go ahead and
Does
break
it
it.
sound like it fits me?
This is going to be as offensive as it sounds, I'm sure. If I was going to cast for someone as like the, I don't know, like neighbor lady at the trailer park, I would need you to wear a certain outfit that like fit that and then just talk with that voice. Like if the police come to like, they're gonna talk to the neighbor.
Oh
you
my
have
God,
to
like
have,
a trailer park Karen?
Yeah.
Literally, he did trailer park
With like
Karen.
a cigarette with a lot of ash still hanging on it, and you open the door, yell at some kid, sit down! You're like,
Oh my,
Peter on the yellow side.
that's right. Somebody
She
did
comes
make me
walking in with
teeter.
overalls, hey, sit down. No, she does not have a twig in her mouth. She's got a dip.
Oh gosh.
Here, my
no,
seat,
no,
boy.
it's a cigarette, it's a long
Somebody
cigarette.
did call me
That did
teeter.
not hit the, that did
Yeah,
not.
that did not, yeah,
The ash is
about
still hanging.
that long.
Y'all, I could play teeter.
Next year, I will say this,
I could play
because
teeter.
we're on this, I think the Friday of the Halloween, we should come dressed.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Wait,
Okay,
yeah.
I'll come as teeter.
Yeah, I honestly think we should do
I'll come
more
as teeter.
planning to that.
I know Pete. Okay.
Peter got a Peter.
Teeter.
No, well,
Teeter doesn't have a Peter.
PP, I don't know.
some people would,
I don't know.
there are people that do. We have a swimmer that has a rudder.
Don't ask, don't tell.
When it comes to finding the right vehicle for you, there's no better place than Lawrence Hall and Abilene. For over 34 years, Lawrence Hall and Abilene is the unique place to find the best Chevrolet, Buick, and GMC. That is still true today. Great products, great service too. So next time when you're the new car, truck, or SUV, come see us or shop 24/7 at LawrenceHallAbilene.online.com. Or Abilene Text, new car dealer for 28 years. How you our customer.
Got all call from spam risk.
Hey, were you talking about gift? Cardinals give the best gift ever, only if Cowboys accept it?
Yeah.
They got accepted in that they gotta beat the Commanders this week.
Chance or no chance, that was a good one. Oh, y'all. I cannot believe you think I'm a trailer park Karen.
No, I don't think.
I
you're
did not say that. I
trying to
said you
I
can
could
play
play them.
that. That's why I
Okay.
said this is not as offensive as it's going to sound.
I definitely could, I think.
Basically, he's saying if Joe Dirt 3 comes out, you got a chance.
I could be cast. Wow.
I picture something just like.
Those that are watching, could y'all picture
that you're just wearing at
Misty?
the house?
What would I be wearing? Like a muumuu?
No.
That's what you come sleeping in, but I think you're in overalls.
No, I'm going more like it looked like you might have been a stripper back 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
That's totally me. Yeah,
Like,
totally.
And jingle jangle.
Exactly. Because I'm all about the Benjamins. Y'all, I don't think I could be a stripper.
well, good.
I would start laughing
Huh?
as I was dancing. Because I'd be like,
Well, welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports life and everything in between as we roll into our 8 o'clock hour. Keep rolling. After Misty's bag, we've got warning labels. And the warning label, Jimmy Johnson, is up in the Ring of Honor after the Christmas Eve. Not Christmas Eve, it was December 30th as the Cowboys take care of the New Year's Eve. Take care of the Detroit Lions, barely. And they win 20-19. They did escape. A lot of controversy on the last play call. But Josh, Misty, the Dallas Cowboys have a great opportunity. I mentioned in the rundown, the Cardinals give the best gift, but now the Cowboys have to accept it in taking care of business this week. What's your thoughts on the last play of the game? A lot of the tripping call that shouldn't have happened, then it wouldn't matter. We have, I'm pointing you again to you, warning label, that's what she said, in that
Kung Fu
style, in that Mike McCarthy has another questionable play calling series at the end, and the Cowboys only win 20, which doesn't matter what they only, but they walk away 20-19 winners, thoughts on that, and as we roll into the week 18.
Yeah, I mean, I still don't have a ton of confidence in his ability to call plays because he, again, just like this game, it's like some of the times he gets it right and then he just like derails. It's kind of like the Hodge Pack. You know, we start off great in a segment and then we just squirrel off. But I don't know what his problem is, but he does make me nervous down the stretch of the playoffs as our head coach and calling the plays. You know, this game, there obviously everybody's like, did he report? Did he not report? It really didn't matter because we won, and and the tripping call, that should have never been called. We would have gotten a first down. The game's over. Micah jumps off sides. We gave them a chance again to.
Which going for 2 on the 7 was dumb.
Right, but like
Micah,
that's just dumb.
Yeah, but Micah gives them a chance. So then here you go. You've got another chance. And then last chance, obviously, the throw that hits the ground or whatever. So I know they're all crying and they're like, oh, the Cowboys are cheaters. But I'm like, they had multiple opportunities even after that took place and still couldn't get it done. So I'm over it. We're moving on, babe. Like,
I was very disappointed in how soft the defense was. I went back and reviewed that offensive drive for the Lions that led to them scoring the touchdown. And that was what concerned me more than any of the rest of it, was the fact that we have the Lions with them, don't quote me on the time specifically, but less than a minute and a half, no timeouts. They throw the ball over the middle for effective chunks of yards.
Twice, back to back.
Spike the ball, set up and do it again. And to me, I understand it's touchdown or bust for them, so you're kind of playing a little loose. You don't want them to bust through, but obviously it didn't work.
But and we talked a little bit about this at lunch that day. Was the bottom line is Jared Goff is still a really good quarterback, and when you go prevent and give him time to decide, and he's loaded with St. Brown, and you've got Laporta, and you've got weapons. If you let me hang out for a while, I'm going to find somebody open. I'm a believer. Put some pressure on the quarterback. You can still play defense. That's what got you there the previous 16 games. So continue to put pressure on.
All we need is a sack. One sack, and that drive is effectively over. And yes, you don't want to get burned. I understand that. But giving up 25 yards on consecutive plays because of soft middle coverage, that scared me. Because it did take a certain amount of luck to come out of that game. Like I said, Dan Campbell going for 2 after the first one got called back. I know that
I think momentum would have been in their favor.
I feel the same.
Oh yeah, we would have lost that game.
I feel like they go ahead and send on the extra point unit from the 7, kick that in, and overtime could have gone much differently.
Yes.
And so I think that's a coaching mistake. Obviously, he's built what they're doing there in Detroit on that, take no prisoners,
I like the ballsy, gutsy call.
And I think it's trying to take on a new mentality of the Detroit Lions.
Right.
And I think but I'm like you. The first one I'm fine, the second one I kick, and then I go to overtime. And so, but the Dallas Cowboys, and Misty said, it's over, babe. We're moving on. We have a chance. And the gift was that the Arizona Cardinals beat the Eagles. Now we win on Sunday. And the reason it's important is because, 1, eventually you have to win on the road. But 2, if you do that, you're guaranteed if you take care of business week 1 of the playoffs, you're going to get 2 home games for playoffs. And then you don't know what happens in that week. We mentioned it, Josh, in the baseball playoffs, everybody griped about having time off. Well, this week, week 18, you're going to have Brock Purdy. He's not playing. Sam Darnold's playing. So this week off, next week off, and then week 3 comes around where you're playing again. Yes, whoever has to go to San Francisco to do that, but it may be the Eagles. It may be whoever. And so let's say they do lose. You have a chance now as a second seed to have all 3 games to get your way to the Super Bowl. That's why Sunday, thank goodness, we have some week 18 games that do not matter, but we only there's 2 spots in the NFC left to fill. There's 3 spots in the AFC to fill, and there's still seeding implications in this weekend. So I think it's really big, and Sunday's huge because Ron Rivera, coaching probably his last game, he's going to try to show something to maybe go get another job. Sam Howell, Somebody's going to be new. If I can impress it against the Dallas Cowboys, it still means something to those guys.
Oh, yeah.
You've got incentives that you're trying to earn from a paycheck. You're trying to earn respect for the next guy that's probably going to come in and be the Washington coach next year. So Sunday is still a very
Well,
important
and it's a
game.
rivalry game that,
Absolutely.
Eagles,
And-
Cowboys, Giants, Redskins, all you roll those up. They all don't like each other, and there's still a strong spoiler, ability, obviously, with Washington. So they're not gonna. I don't think they're just gonna roll over.
No, the
No,
Cowboys
that's-
better be ready. They
And
better be
that's-
prepared to play.
And a shout out to Potosi Live. They're going to have a watch party. You got Jay Novacek going to be there. Give them a call, 325-529-3111 if you want to get a table to watch.
Or a table.
Or a table. Maybe
What's
a
a
smaller.
table?
It's a really small table where you can escape and enjoy the lunch. But so as we head into this week, I'm glad it's something to play for, because the reason I meant that bye week stuff and that layoff is that in Major League Baseball, everybody complained about the weight. And I think it could fall into that same scenario, and that's why Sunday is so big for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott, he said, I'm not going to throw as many interceptions. He's only thrown 8. He's done his part. Defense get rolling, keep that momentum, and let it be a Texas Rangers type possibility of a run.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
And that's what I'm here for. And so let's move into some no chance. Josh, we started this last week. A couple of games that I'm looking forward to this week before we get into that. A lot of implications are Pittsburgh has a chance to get into the playoffs. They need some help. Baltimore is not going to be playing Lamar Jackson. Houston and Indy, they play tomorrow night. Winner is in and still has a chance to win the division. Jacksonville needs to win as well. And then, of course, Tampa Bay and the NFC South has to be settled. A couple of things that I think that's interesting. Green Bay has a chance. If they win, they get in. That game's going to be a really good one. The reason is Chicago and Green Bay, both are playing for something. Green Bay to get in, and Justin Fields to remind them that either keep me or wherever you send me, somebody's going to pay me because I'm still good.
Right.
And, of course, Philadelphia, New York. But the one that's interesting is the Bills and Dolphins are big, but the San Francisco 49ers and the Rams. If the Rams lose, they drop. If they win, they play. We could play the Rams possibly in that. So just
But
interesting.
they both already benched their quarterbacks.
Right. Which
So,
it's almost like McVay says, I don't care who we play, I want to rest.
Oh, yeah, I want Stafford to be
Yeah.
good. And I don't disagree with that mentality, really, unless you're playing for a bye or which now people are arguing that maybe the bye is worse for you. I don't know. But unless you're playing for a bye and or home field, if you're going on the road either way, you're going to have to win your way through. So you want to go in full stream.
All right, so let's jump into some chance, no chance. Lamar Jackson has the most pressure in the playoffs to win a Super Bowl in this playoff. Josh?
No chance.
Who does?
I
Let me ask
uh,
you, what's your answer on that?
I don't think he has maybe the most pressure. I think he's up there, but for the most pressure, I'm gonna say no chance.
Okay, who do you think does?
I mean, I really don't know, because I think there's a lot of people that have a lot of pressure equally. I think that the 49ers coming so close and then not getting there, and Brock Purdy, looking so good all year, then throwing 4 interceptions. I think that they're going to be in that situation that if they can't turn the corner, they have to decide why they're not turning the corner. And so I'm not specifically saying the quarterback with the 49ers, but the 49ers as a whole, I think have a lot of pressure.
Yeah, when I think of quarterbacks, I think I'd put Dak in that conversation. Like, this is
And Dak was
This is America's team. Like, at what point are you going to take us to the ship? And so for me, it's Dak Prescott.
Well, and I think this window is getting smaller. And Dak would be mine, but I think if Dak gets to the NFC Championship game, it helps a little bit more because
It'll carry him a little bit longer, but yeah, we need to turn a corner.
I think this one is no chance. Dak can do enough to take away the MVP from Lamar Jackson this week. I think it's no chance. I think it's Lamar's, even though he's not playing.
I would agree with that. And Lamar Jackson, I would wish he didn't win it, because I'm bothered by the fact that when his team is not in it, he has literally quit. Demanded to be traded last year. They didn't trade him.
Yeah,
That
he's
was
a
all
big
kinds
baby.
of debacle going into the season, and now they're rolling into Most, if not everyone, has them as number one in the power rankings in the NFL, and I just don't think that he deserves that from a sportsmanship level.
I completely agree.
And my homer would like for Dak to win, and I think that Dak has played to that quality. But I do think that it's very, very slim to none that Lamar gets passed.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's very small. I don't think he really has a big chance to lose it this weekend because of the, unfortunately, they're not going to give it to Christian McCaffrey. He's not playing this week. They're not giving it to Tyreek Hill, so I don't see that happening either. Couple more. Joe Flacco is a Hall of Famer now.
I'm gonna say no chance. Not right now.
I agree with that. I think that
Win a Super Bowl.
the rejuvenated.
He already has.
He has one.
Oh yeah, that is right. He
He's
did.
MVP of one.
That's right.
The
Of one.
rejuvenation of his career definitely increased that because he was done, and then now he's back and looking very good.
Does he have to win a Super Bowl this year, or just
Win another one.
Does he just have to win a playoff game or two with the Browns?
I
Because
just need more from him.
Stat-wise, he is up there. He's in there. He's above a lot of other Hall of Famers already. I think he's very questionable. And I'm going to say chance that he is one now. I really do think what he's doing. And I'm going to tell you, I'll throw it out to you. The Browns are a serious Super Bowl contender in the AFC. Chance or no chance?
Chance.
I think so too. I think they may be one of the most dangerous teams in there. Now, before we go to commercial, do y'all have any chance or no chance questions for me?
I've got some bold predictions, so I don't know if you want them.
We'll hold those.
Yeah,
we'll
I've got some for that.
I will say this: my other chance, no chance is Sean McDermott is coaching for his job this week.
I'll say chance.
I'd say there's a chance.
Yeah, I'll say chance.
I think there's a lot of pressure on him more than people think. Hey, that is our NFL again. Cowboys Sunday playing the Washington Commanders. You can hear it right here on 106.9 The Country Giant. When we come back, knowing is half the battle to kick your new year off. We'll be back.
Laptop, TV, mobile phone, or
Laptop TV. That was like a Siri, or like the lady that does the GPS when you're traveling. That voice, I'm like, that wanted to put me to sleep.
We're always here. Make it life easier.
I don't know laptop TV.
Me neither. I'm like, what is this commercial?
So, isn't an iPad basically a laptop TV?
Well, yeah, that's what I was like.
I can make this phone
What
in my
is
lap.
this?
I can make this phone in my lap.
It's gonna lean back.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? It was talking like this. But I liked it. It was calming. I thought it was Restore Wellness for a minute.
Put this in your laptop.
Yeah.
All right, so we come back and you know he has a battle.
Yeah, naked goat yoga needs to be in the title of the podcast.
I think I'm going to go full adventure. Go.
Full adventure.
Have you enjoyed the Potosi Live experience yet?
That is funny that you thought about a fireman dragging you out. Like, is that like
Yeah, chalk outline. We're not getting this one.
Yeah, is that like one of those irrational fears?
I had thought one time, I was like, wait a lot.
But they can drag you.
Deadly. I mean, heavier.
Yeah. This one's gonna take two. That's funny.
I also thought about, what is like the female firemen or police officers do? Like, if I'm in a car accident, they gotta get me out of the car.
I think they phone a friend.
Trained on that.
Yeah.
Don't do it in lifeguard.
Yeah, and yell. I'd be like, I need another hand.
Oh, there are plenty of like swimming pools that I think this often where I was like, I don't plan on doing anything that might put me at risk of drowning. Like basically standing on the side of the pool watching my kids, jump off the side. But you see these like 100-pound 16-year-olds and like, there's no way you're saving.
Yeah.
like you're just not gonna do it.
having more small plates.
What's next? Knowing you gotta knowing is half the battle.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm trying to think. Did we do one last week? No,
We didn't get to it because we got pretty.
I couldn't remember.
Mine was going to be blasting TV network.
Blasting?
Streaming situations and services. And,
Oh, that's, I can switch to that.
Oh,
no,
I have a whole,
well, I
was
signed
gonna
up for
say-
YouTube TV so I could watch Cowboys game because my in-laws did that.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You mentioned it last week, just not like on air.
Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, sports live and everything in between. We are back rocking and rolling at 8 o'clock. Again, brought to you by Coleman County State Bank. First show of the 2024. We're excited about what's in store for 2024, and we're glad to have Josh back so that we can. Oh, yeah.
He is the flow master.
Abilene Young inspired me, but it's now time for knowings after that.
all right, ladies and gentlemen, what you need to know this week, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we're only 5 days into it. But if you made a New Year's resolution, it is going to fail. I'm sorry.
Ouch.
It's rough, I know. It's rough, I know, but this is how I know.
Experience?
Many years of experience.
Right,
Not
don't take us down with you.
No. Everyone goes down on this ship. Not as many years as Hodge has an experience of failing at New Year's resolutions, but many years. And this is what I would have determined. I thought about this. I would have talked about this last week, but I obviously didn't make it. But I had, lots of conversations. People asking, do you do New Year's resolutions? What's your New Year's resolution? Did y'all get conversations like that? And then
Everybody asks that.
Yeah.
Or are you going to eat the black eyed pea and all those
Well,
things?
yeah, obviously Hodge is not.
I am not either.
So that's your own dance with destiny there. You can choose to do what you want to, I guess. I like black eyed peas, so I don't really have much of a problem eating some. It's a very good tradition. I like that one because I do like black eyed peas, and that's every New Year's we have the black eyed peas, but that's not what this is about. That also made me think about, let's get it started in here, but that's a whole nother different black eyed pea. So if you made a New Year's resolution, it's going to fail. And this is why it's going to fail. I determined that anything that you think you need to do to make yourself better, that then you're going to postpone doing said thing for an arbitrary date, whether that be, after this, I'm going to stop, I'm going to eat better so I can be ready for beach season. No, you're not going to, because you're already failing. And you have chose to postpone doing well for one reason. So if you need New Year's Day to decide you're going to sleep more and work out and eat less and, stop smoking or, be a better employee, whatever those different things that people say, you're going to fail. It's all about perspective. You've already put it in your mind that it's something that you can't do unless you set some date in the future, right?
I can see that.
So you have set yourself up to fail. So the whole notion of it is just flawed to me.
So you don't think there's something to be said for like starting fresh in a new year? Because a lot of people have this mindset. Okay, starting fresh, I'm going to tell y'all, one of my resolutions, I'm a big resolution person, but not to toot my own horn, but I usually achieve my resolutions because I'm a very driven individual.
Okay.
So one of my resolutions for this year is to do the Bible recap.
Okay.
It's one, you do a devotional, read, and you watch the videos that go with that specific teaching for that day. I'm so far doing well, okay? I have not missed
Day 5.
Yes, day 5.
New record.
Hey, yes. For me, I am not a big reader.
Okay.
And so for me, this is a big deal that I have actually done it for a few days in a row. So that is one of my resolutions. So I'm hoping that I can do it. I'm going to try really, really hard. But like losing weight, eating better, all of those things, being more healthy. I don't know. I think that there's something to be said for like a new year. I'm going to try to do something better, starting fresh. I think there's just something about starting fresh and kind of turning that page.
Okay, I think she disagrees with you, but I think it's because more so it's different if you're goal-oriented people. Because if you're just a resolution person, for the most part, you probably fail. But there are people out there that set goals that probably mark them throughout the year that do those things. And again, Josh
I think the average person is like what Josh is saying.
Well,
yes.
But don't you think that's a difference in people that, okay, these are my goals for the year, and then on December 30th to 31st, I look back on my year and set my goals for the next year. I think those are two different things, and resolution people and goal setting people.
No, I think, I agree. I agree completely. That is two separate things. And also agree that I'm generally of the type that, like, if I truly set my mind to do something, like I typically do well at it. The problem, and this is where I think the whole resolution idea comes in, and this is why I think that you fail at resolutions, is it's something, to me, when you set a New Year's resolution, like the fresh start, all right, I do need to lose some weight. That is an absolute fact. And I used to work out quite a bit. I have not in a long time. And I started having this feeling of like I need to do better. So then you have this thought, all right, am I going, I could set a New Year's resolution. But in doing so, you're saying, I'm going to put off making this change that I know I need to make till however long the way that is.
No, I see that.
Like you make that realization on after the summer.
Yeah.
You had whatever, and then it's like school started back. You're not, man, I really need to start losing some weight. I need to start doing something. When you wait to make that decision until January 1st, that's where you're saying
right.
the problem
Well,
is.
and generally I've seen this where people are saying like, I'm gonna get a better sleep habit. I think sleep habits are one of those things that a lot of people struggle with. Or I'm gonna eat less. I'm gonna work out more. I'm gonna stop smoking. I'm gonna,
right.
I'm gonna lay off the beer. Whatever you generally then do the exact opposite for the pending period. Like you'd be like Christmas dinner, like I probably shouldn't go for that pecan pie, but New Year's I'm gonna get it straight, so I'm gonna go ahead and have it.
One of those ones that you hear people say, well, I'm doing dry January, so I'm gonna let it all out on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Well, why? I mean, I understand dry January and you want to take a break and maybe cut back, whatever that may be, whether it's smoke less January or dry, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you go all out, to me, why would you want to set yourself back so far there to start your new?
Right. Well, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
I think there's that's with this the whole like Fat Tuesday mentality. Like you're gonna give something up for Lent, so you're gonna party super hard the day before.
So depending on so my Bible recap, is that a goal or a resolution?
Well, I mean
I think that's a goal.
Is that a goal?
But I think I hope that you do succeed. In
I
that.
do. Thank you. I'm trying.
But see, I think that's a goal. I think a
I
lot
need more
of it.
Jesus. Everybody does.
Well, I think it depends on what your Bible reading was up to that.
Other than the passages on
that,
Sunday morning. So
that's
this is
the
a
question.
huge thing for me.
So that is a question.
And I love Jesus. I just don't read.
Let's throw that out there. Is it, if you're starting a new, is it a resolution or is it a goal?
I mean, I have read the Bible before, bits and pieces. Just it's been a while.
But I mean, but it goes back to the other point, and I hate even referring to this in like spiritual, Christian walk scenarios because I don't want to judge anyone on that.
Well, mine is one because it's 365. Like mine is a little different.
No, I do think that there are a lot of things that start with if you start on day one, you finish the program, and if you started a week late, you'd be like, hey, do you catch up or do you just remember that you're 6 days behind? I mean, I don't.
You read Genesis 1 next January.
Yeah, that's why I started
finish the beginning of the book when I get. I mean, so that, and I'm not obviously I'm being a bit facetious, but I do think the whole notion of I'm going to wait until this date to be a better person is flawed. And if you're doing that, it's because you really don't want to. And that's where I'm at. But the things that I really want to do, You just do it. The things that you're like, I need to do this.
Yeah.
I should do this. It would be good for me if I did this. I'll make that my New Year's resolution. You're not going to do it.
They normally end up being like your research paper. You procrastinate and you do it on the due date and you get a C.
Yeah.
As opposed to if you'd have done it leading up to, you might have got an A or a B.
It kind of reminds me
And
of
less have
people.
less stress.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of people that they're dieting. They're like, okay, it's Thursday, I'll start Monday, right? How many times it's like, okay, I'll just get through the weekend.
I got Bill and I got this event at this day, so I mean, I know that the food's going to be good there, so I won't be able to control myself.
Yeah.
So you're already setting yourself up to fail. You're setting up that there's
So then you don't ever do resolutions, I'm hearing?
Oh, no, I gave that up a long time ago because it was just like, I'm going to hit this hard. And then it's like 3 days later, well, I mean, if I just mess up once, I mean,
But I think, and I do agree with
Everyone
this.
in America.
I do agree with this. Will's watching us at HodgePackSports.com. He says it's never too late to start anything, just start.
Well, that's
and I think that's the knowing is at the battle.
If it hits you, you feel convicted, you feel like strongly about whatever it is, just do it.
But my only argument would be that I think a lot of people, there's something tangible about starting a new year. I think for a lot of people, it's a mindset thing.
A new date when
but it's like
23 on
1/1/24. It's like, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of people out there that's the shift for them. You know what I mean?
Because
it's starting anew. It's fresh. I totally agree with you. But I also think that there are a lot of people that have that mindset of like, now I'm going to start anew in this new year. It's new. That's why new year, new me is a thing.
People will do that. I know we've talked about reading the Bible, and I've thought about doing the Bible recap.
You should. It's really good.
Separate of what I do now and walking, because I've never read it all.
Me neither. That's why I want to achieve this
but
goal.
I will tell you this, and we got a little bit of time left, it's kind of like, I guess, going back to that point of just do it, just start it. But I think people kind of like church, I'll start going on Sunday, or I'll start going at Christmas, or I'll start going at Easter.
We always have we all have a starting
and
date.
going back to Josh, it's a combination of knowing half the battle. If you're going to want to do it, one, start it, like Will said, and Josh is saying, but if you're really going to do that, you better surround yourself with people that are going to help you actually accomplish.
Well, and that was the other thing that I was that I was weighing, is that you might not should make your own New Year's resolutions if you're going to make one. You should find like trusted people in your life, and not just your spouse either, but trusted people in your life to aid you in what those should be.
And y'all need to hold me accountable and be like, hey, are you doing your recap? And y'all should join me. There's a buddy thing. Yeah, it's actually really cool. There's a video about what you just read. It's actually really good so far.
Send it to me soon, because I can catch up 4 or 5 days.
Y'all totally can catch up. But we could do it as a group.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah. But yes, the thing is, and that is the whole, and you wrapped it up in the bow that I was presenting. If you need to do something to make your life better, you don't need a one.
And I totally agree with that.
And if that's what your motivation is, you will fail.
So get your people, knowing it's at the battle, but you're in luck. We're going to help you pick some bold predictions for 2024 right after this.
I'm always tempted to do just a nice little Ric Flair right when you're about to go in.
Woo! That was a great segment though, because I literally totally see what you're saying. But also
Honestly, that's probably one of the most educational knowing.
Yeah, it was good.
And people's lives will be better.
Just start today. It's okay that it's
Will says it just seems like Misty likes to argue with Hodge. She's actually arguing with Josh.
I don't know. I'm kind of I guess I'm kind of both sides of this, because I always set resolutions or goals. Clay and I do as a couple. We'll sit down like, what do we want to accomplish this year together? Whether it's financially or in our marriage or spiritually or whatever. Most of the time it's professional goals, or like by the end of this year, we want to have paid down X amount on our cars or whatever it is. But I don't know, in my brain, there is just something tangible about that 1/1, that fresh start. I don't know. So I literally could go both ways on that.
Well,
it's hard, but
like I said,
I love it.
It was partially being facetious, you know,
Yeah.
but because yes, there's so many times for me personally that whatever it is, like spending less money, you know, I'll be like, I need to
Yes.
spend less
Oh, same.
I,
Yes.
I buy too many just like little toy things here and there. I go out to eat too much, you know, like these type of things. And I'm always like, all right, well, once I get past the summer, you know, because we're doing trips and stuff in the summer, I'll spend less money once school starts. And then it's like, well, you do this, that, and the other, and then, okay, well, now you hadn't really changed your habits during the Christmas. Well, you can't try to save money during the Christmas season. So, well, like, well,
Yes.
I'll just push that back to January, you know, and then, you know, it's just, because, and that's where I think the difference in a goal and a conviction.
Yes.
You can have good goals, but if you don't have conviction to stick to it, you won't. You know, like.
Well, and I already found out yesterday, and it's going to be a struggle on Friday. So I've been doing the Bible recap first thing in the morning, like.
And today maybe.
And today, right? And so I'm like, okay, now I need. And yesterday I was finishing it up at like 5 o'clock. Like Clay and I always call each other at 5 o'clock, like when we get off work and just chat on the way home. And he called, and I was like, hey, he's like, what are you doing? I was like, Bible recap. He's like, okay, bye. And I was like, bye, because he knew like I need to get this done because I don't want to procrastinate. And then it's 10 o'clock tonight and I'm tired
Well,
and I'm going to put it off.
And then you put it off and you'll.
Right, and then I'm done.
And you might catch up one or two
But I
times.
can't if it's like a week or two. I'll just feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And so
Sure.
that's, but yeah, see, like it's literally, and like the video is like 7 minutes. So like yesterday, like you start at the devotional and like you don't really, this is the same thing every time. It's just saying, hey, go through these videos, but you just go to like these are just preps. And then like day 4, Job, 1 through 5, both of Job summary. So I watched both of these yesterday. One was, I think, 10 minutes and one, I think, was 3 or 4. The previous days were all at 7. So you watch the video and then you go back through and like, yeah, it's the Bible app. And then you just read, but I mean, that's it. And then you go down here and click, click, click all the way through. And then it marks them to show that, okay, you completed all of those. And so like today, I'll do these. And you can also do Audible, like in your car. It'll read it to you if you don't want to read it. But yeah, let's see how I share this. But yeah, I mean, so far, like I said, I've been happy about it. See if I can share it. Yeah, I'll put it in our group. But yeah, it's just the Bible like app, and it's in there. Okay, this is predictions.
Yes, bowl prediction for 2024. Welcome back to the Hodge Pack, Sports Live and everything in between. We threw out that chat. Glad that you're here with us. We threw out on our Facebook page or social medias. Again, you can check us out at hodgepacksports.com. Find out all the goods. Download the podcast. Of course, download, subscribe, rate, review. We had a great run of our show this year. We mentioned heard in other countries. Of course, right here on 106.9 The Country Giant, you can listen to us anywhere in the world. KLGD1069.com if you're on your way to the office. But we threw out there for 2024. What are some pretty bold predictions for 2024? We'll read some of those in a moment, but I thought we'd play this. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it plays out for them. I'm going to read some of the ones that some of our listeners posted on our Facebook page. One, shout out to Seth Webster. He put a bold that Ryan will
I saw that one.
Will win the Fairway 500. That is pretty bold.
Very rich.
Very bold. I like this one, Jason Watts, and I do agree with it in the fact that I also responded to Jason. He said the Dodgers get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. They will not win a World Series. Jot that down. They will not win a World Series in the 10 years of Shohei Ohtani. A lot of them, Cody Gay says Texas Rangers go back-to-back. He has Cowboys also, or Rory wins the Masters, and a couple have the Cowboys win the Super Bowl. Probably, I think one of the coolest ones that somebody put, besides me winning the 500, was Jacob Kenyon put a team in the bottom half of the top 12 in the college football playoff next year wins the CFP. Thought that was pretty bold. That somebody in the bottom half of that top 12 win. I might, no
That's very
offense, Jacob,
bold.
I would say no chance, but I am here for it.
Very, very bold.
So, Misty, do you have any bold predictions for 2024?
I'm going to say Rodgers won't make it 3 games if he comes back without getting injured again.
That's like a hate.
I was correct in 2023 with my predictions of him, so just saying, just going to throw that out there. I said he would get injured the first game. He got injured within the first 4 snaps.
I'm gonna say no chance.
So I'm going to say 3 games, and then
So
he's
you
out.
think, all right, so, okay, so,
It's a long time for me to have to remember you said that.
I'll remind you.
Okay.
Only if I'm right.
Only if you're
Only if I'm
Sure you.
right.
I can assure you, if she's right,
Hey,
she's.
I admitted it.
Well, fortunately, you were wrong about you were absolutely wrong about, well, not yet, Cowboys stuff to play Sunday. But you really predicted that Dak would throw more than 10 interceptions. He's not done that
Season's
yet.
not over
Don't
yet.
jinx it,
Yeah,
Todd.
you just jinxed
No, I
it.
don't believe in jinx.
Season is not
If
If you
over
don't believe
yet.
in jinx,
He
doesn't
will
mean
throw
you
more
believe it.
interceptions before the
Keep beating
season
your
is
black-eyed
over.
peas, Josh, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
So you think Aaron Rodgers will not make it next year?
I don't believe in gravity, so I can walk
Yeah.
off cliffs.
Dak is going to throw more interceptions. He will not end with 8. We know that. So that's going to be happening soon.
All right, my bold prediction in 2024 is going to happen Sunday, that hopefully by halftime.
Hopefully. You
Yeah,
can say
so
bold
hopefully.
prediction and then say hopefully.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm full of bitch.
But an
Bold prediction,
oxymoron.
hopefully you win the lotto.
Bold prediction.
You gotta play the lotto.
Hey.
First. That's what someone told me once. I don't do that.
Yeah.
Fine.
Bold prediction. I think there's a chance that he does
Bold prediction.
I keep hearing bowl
Yeah.
prediction.
Well, that's because he can't say words.
I'm like,
They're hard for him.
we're not talking about CFP right now. Bowl
Bold
prediction.
prediction.
Bold,
My
dot,
bold
dot, with a
prediction
D.
is that
It's all about the
Washington will
D,
play
D, D, D.
Michigan on
it. Billy says that the Cowboys will not be going to the Super Bowl unless they buy a ticket. I think there's still a chance. So your bold prediction, and one of your bold predictions is that Aaron Rodgers does not play a full season.
Correct.
And even much so,
No,
you
no,
play down
plays
the,
a third of a season.
Uh-huh.
Or
In-
no, a
Without
quarter.
getting injured.
A quarter.
so 3 games.
Very
Without getting
I-
injured
I-
again.
I'm not going to get on the bandwagon because I think he will be the comeback player of the year, and the Jets will go to the Super Bowl.
That's
That is
Bold.
very bold. This one, I
Jets
think
are
there's
highly
definitely a chance. Pollard will not be the starting running back for the Dallas Cowboys next season.
I think that's possible. What I would like to see, and I don't think they have the cap room, I don't think they'll do it, is Saquon Barkley's probably not going to be a Giant next year. I don't know if we can afford to pay him, but I would be okay with that.
I'm not
I don't think so.
paying any running back large amounts of money. I think you draft them.
I agree with that.
You draft them or piece together some mid-range free agents. That's my GM tip of the week.
There you go.
Another bold prediction.
Heavy on
Heavy on the D. We're always heavy on the D. Purdy regresses and doesn't make playoffs next season.
Wow.
The 49ers.
I did say that they had a lot of pressure this year. I do think there is a strong possibility that Purdy kind of finishes the Cinderella, goes not full pumpkin. I think he's better than that, but I agree with you on that one. I think that's a good prediction.
All right, what is, we'll go back. Do you have any more? We'll come back to you. If you do.
Belichick will not be coaching the Pats next season.
Okay. I don't know if it's, I think it's a good prediction. I don't know if it's bold, because I think it's a pretty accurate. No, I don't think it's a stretch. I think the other one's a stretch, but I don't think.
And Rangers repeat.
I like that. What about you, Josh? You got any bold ones?
Well, I definitely think that the Rangers have a solid chance at another run, but my bold prediction concerning the Rangers is that Corey Seager will win the American League MVP award. With Shohei Ohtani no longer being there, I don't know how bold that really is. If it is a matter of Corey Seager just doing, having another good season like he did this year, and Aaron Judge not.
Well, I think one of my bold ones is, in the golf world, I'll throw this out. I think Tiger Woods wins this year. I don't know if it's Augusta, but I think Tiger Woods wins this year. That's probably a bit of a stretch. But as far as your Belichick one, all right, let me ask you this. and I'll come back to you, Josh. Do you think Belichick is coaching in 2024? Or do you think he's
If he
done?
is, I think he's with, well,
Will somebody still want him at 72 years old?
I'm
mean,
gonna say
Matt's
yes.
gone.
I'm gonna say yes and go out on a limb that he will be, just not with the Patriots.
Yeah, I think he's either coaching with the Patriots next year or coaching somewhere else. I don't think he's
I
done.
think he's got a couple more years in him.
Josh hesitates.
Well, I'm not saying that someone wouldn't hire him because he's a Hall of Fame coach, and if there's a position available that, some owner will think that he's worth putting in there. I think that if you look at their digression of where they were versus where they are now, and the way that he does things, I think that any place that he goes to, even if that's staying with the Patriots, it would have to be a whole rebuild process of which the talent on the field, the development of players, the scouting of players used to be his very, very high, strong point, and that seems to have waned. Now, why? I don't know. But I read yesterday that the Patriots have not re-signed any of their top 3 draft picks that they've had, and I believe it was the last 5 seasons. So, like, basically,
Do you think
the
he could
team
go,
building aspect of what he did so well has diminished.
do you think he could go somewhere and just coach, or do you think he's going to have to be the GM too?
See, I don't know that. I mean, I don't know him obviously personally. I think he'd have a hard time being in the just coach role, and that's why I think it would be a difficult fit to find him a place.
But again, I think Belichick will be coaching. I think Harbaugh fits to me. I hope they give Antonio Pierce the job at Las Vegas. I think Jim Harbaugh is a good fit in LA. If not, maybe I think the other thing that we've seen in the last however many months, Kellen Moore's not been talked about near enough now because of the success he's not had at LA. I think the Chargers would be a good fit for Belichick. But I don't know. There'll be some, of course, the thing about this weekend, you now will have Black Monday, which is the coaches that get let go and get Ron Rivera is going to be one of them. One of my bold predictions, and I don't know if Jason Watts is watching. I do agree, Dodgers will not win next year, and they're not going to make a World Series. They will not win one under. Do you think I'm wrong?
Oh, no, I mean, it's obviously easy to say I take the field versus any one team because getting to a World Series, a Super Bowl, all those things is very difficult. Winning it, obviously, is that next step that's very difficult, and only one team can do it. I think the Dodgers are obviously the talk of the town, and typically when that happens, it doesn't end well. Look at the Mets last year. We've seen it with the Yankees in the past. Just recently where they went and got several people loaded up, and then it just didn't work out. I think that
Why do you think that is? Do you think
well,
just
I think
the pressure and
the super team mentality, and you've seen it with LeBron. It took a while in Miami, but for the wheels to all get rolling in the right direction. I just think that super team mentality makes it very difficult because there is a lot of pressure, there's a lot of expectation, and it seems like there's always dysfunction in those environments.
Yeah. I think it goes back to there's still, I don't care if you're a PGA Tour golfer, Dak Prescott on Sunday on the road, Brock Purdy finding a way to get to the Super Bowl. There's still pressure that they have to live up to, and I don't think the Dodgers will do it. My other bold one is that University of Texas will regret going, except for the dollar amount, a dollar value. They will regret going to the SEC.
Yeah.
I agree with that. I wouldn't have really thought about that. But I mean, if you look at A&M as a case study of going to the SEC, there's always expectations there that they have not been able to meet, and they continually put middle of the pack SEC teams out there. The one thing that I might waver a little bit on with this situation is I truly think the SEC has become very different than what it was just a few years ago. There's more parity in college football across the board. And if you look at what the SEC did this season, where they obviously had Georgia, who ran the table basically as number one until they got beat by Alabama. Alabama had a lot of flaws, and that kind of caught them in the playoff game. And the bottom of the SEC seems to be extremely porous, and so I don't think there's that many hard teams that you have to beat like there was just a few years ago. So I mean, that's the.
I think not necessarily regretted, but I don't think we're going to see the win. We only got a minute left. I want to say, hey, don't forget, 2 weeks from now, January 19th, we're going to have our 5th year anniversary show. We're going to have a ribbon cutting with the chamber. We'd love for folks to come hang out, come see us at the mall. We're going to do that. Josh, Misty, and I'll be there. We'll have some of our sponsors. We're just looking forward to the Redcoats will be here that day. Next week, we'll have a crown champion in the college football world. Will the Dallas Cowboys be the NFC champs? That's what we hope for. It's Hodge, Misty, and Josh. Tune in next week to the Hodge Pack, Sports Life, and everything in between. Have a great weekend.
Woo! Had to go with Ric Flair.
Oh my gosh.
Holy.
Yeah. Bleep.
What's up, boy?
Josh, we don't
Have
have
a good
a
one.
button.
Shots fired. See y'all.
You can't be doing that. Oh man.